Hello, this is Simeon Campbell, and this is Refugee Education, a Qualitative Research for EP607. Now we're going to go into a background of this study or research. It's basically working with refugees in the classroom. How is the learning environment affecting their performance? And the researcher is going to get down to this to see what steps teachers can take and students and parents can take in order to further their education. Now, a background to the research problem is talking about refugees being displaced and just trying to get them placed in the right classroom. My interest is to find out, do these new learning environments really make a difference in student learning for the better or for the worst? Now, the significance of the research is to find out if the educational learning environment makes a difference. It holds cultural meaning as well. A learning environment holds unconscious cultural patterns that could help educators learn more about students, especially refugees, since they come from a thick cultural background, and many of these classrooms are different cultures is a different culture from theirs. So that definitely plays a role in their learning as well. Problem statement goes into that there's about 272 million refugees and counting at the moment that are placed around the world. Some countries have more, some countries have a small population. Now, with that being said, they're placed in schools that don't have the proper resources to be able to help them learn. And most of these students their second language is English. The first language probably being Arabic. So it's a little bit hard for them to learn in the classroom. New faces, new teacher, new students, new city, it's a lot for them to take in, and that can definitely mess up their learning process. Inadequate education policies also is something that the refugee parents have to deal with, and the biggest problem is proper integration, the learning environment, and things like that. If we go further into the purpose statement, the central aim of the research is to see the effects of integration of a refugee student into the learning environment and to see if teachers know how to integrate refugee students effectively. Observations are very important because it gives the educators the ability to analyze and apply feedback, which is good. The general purpose is to simply find out if the new learning environment can have an effect on refugee learning. So according to Johnson B. Christensen, the ultimate objective is to seek out what the social behavior is inside the classroom, and the educational research is the improvement to the world for the student to have a better social life. Okay, so, and also we're gonna go into the research objectives. I have 3 of them. The main one is to observe and analyze student performance in classrooms and the situations in the classrooms. Be able to understand problems or problem areas that the student may have, and to determine a plan of action based off of those observations. Moving forward, research question. This is a very big section of my research, and the first question is, how can new classroom learning environments have a negative effect on refugee students? And then I have 2 sub-questions, which is, what steps can the students take to improve test scores, and what role does the teacher play in refugee education? I believe that these are straightforward questions, straightforward research questions and sub-questions that it won't take too much time to gather the data, because we're going to be working with pre-test and post-test, and that can happen in a semester. So it's not going to be that much trouble for the researcher. going into my methodology slash framework, I chose two. For the methodology, I chose ethnography because it's working on the phenomenon that happens within a culture. Now, these refugees do have a different culture, and how does the culture play a role in their learning? And also, I'm talking about phenomenological research method as well as talking about to identify the phenomenon, distinguish, collect data, generate, develop, and report. Pretty straightforward on that. The conceptual framework would be based on the understanding of human behavior from the observer's perspective, working in real reality, working in the classroom with the students as well. Okay, and then we're also gonna go into data collection, and data collection, the measures that deal with data collection. My main collection for my research will be focused on observations to identify the participants, refugees, to distinguish the type of observation. Is this doing tests? Is this doing assessments? Well, same thing. Or is this doing, a simple activity in the classroom? Develop interview questions. Building rapport is very important. And to analyze pre-test and post-test scores.